Hey everybody, welcome back to Cosmic Life. I'm Stacey and I'm here to give you the weekly astrology for March 10th. So before I begin, I invite you to go grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. God knows I need it right now. I will be making a few videos tonight and this is my first one of the night, so I need a little pep in my step. And it doesn't help that it's a rainy, dreary day, and it's very Neptunian, very Pisces kind of day, especially, you know, Pisces is watery. So get yourself comfortable. We got a few things to talk about for this week, but overall, I do think it's going to be a good week. So as I'm making this video, we have Mercury conjuncting Neptune, like I mentioned, so there could be very dreamy, visionary conversations happening. It could create confusion, but it could also be that you're, you know, coming up with ideas that have been kind of buried deep down, or you could be like me, deep diving into the hidden realms of life, whether that's astrology, spirituality, you know, just tapping into subconscious, or your dreams, you know. So very Neptunian vibe right now, at least for me. We start off on the 10th with a new moon in Pisces. And the interesting thing about this new moon is that it happens right after the clocks spring forward. And so I find it very ironic because it's like new energy and we change our clocks, you know, right after. And, you know, it's just the timing of it all. I don't know about you. The universe speaks to us in, you know, so many quirky ways. But we have the new moon in Pisces at 20 degrees. And I do think that it will be a favorable new moon because we have Saturn making a sextile to Jupiter at the same time that the new moon is happening. And like I mentioned in last week's video with Saturn sextile Jupiter, you know, I feel like that is a great energy for rewards for hard work. You know, Jupiter, you know, is like the gift giver of the zodiac, very expansive energy, of course. And he grants favor, especially when making a connection to a planet in its ancient ruling sign of Pisces. So it's a mutual reception happening in the sextile, which makes it more favorable, where Jupiter is a more favored sign in that connection. And we all know that Saturn is the Lord of hard work and making you, you know, get your hands dirty and do what you got to do. And, you know, there's no avoiding it kind of discipline, you know? So I feel like this new moon having that connection happening between Saturn and Jupiter could potentially mean that, you know, a lot of people may be up for promotions or up for reviews where they get bonuses, raises. There could be a new beginning that is due to hard work, you know, where you've dug your heels in and you really did what you had to do. I feel like there's, you know, a reward, you know, and whether it has to do with work or, you know, with home life, you could be working on projects at home or, you know, maybe working through contractual agreements where, you know, now that they are official, you know, there could be new opportunities or new abilities that you have that you didn't have before. And so this could play out in a lot of ways. You have to look at where Pisces is in your chart, and obviously where Taurus is, because that's where Jupiter is. And so, you know, where you see that connection happening will tell you how it'll play out for you individually. But it is favorable. It does help give a boost to the new moon when you have Jupiter making a sextile to a planet in the same sign as the new moon. So I feel like, you know, there's going to be a new beginning that will bear fruit, you know. And when we're talking about Pisces, which is all about, you know, our visions and our subconscious and our dreams and the hidden realms of life, you know, you could be tapping into something, you know, something new, you know, that you didn't see before. And with the new moon, you can see it come to fruition or culmination 6 months later when you have the full moon in that sign. And so, you know, this could be something brand new where it takes 6 months for you to see the result of it. Or you could just see, you know, new energy kind of reviving that Pisces area of your chart. Either way, there is a lot of positivity to this new moon. And I like that because, you know, I know a lot of you have had a rough winter, and, you know, 2024 has started out with a punch, and we're starting to see the energy lighten up. You know, we've had all planets direct, so everything's been, you know, full force. And I feel like this is a softer new moon where it's not going to be hard hitting for people. It'll, you know, be beneficial. It could be very healing, you know, because Pisces can be a healing energy, you know. And the other thing I want to mention is, you know, Pisces is the natural ruler of the 12th house of the chart. And, you know, because of that, it's known to be the house of endings, right? And Saturn, being the taskmaster that it is, Saturn in Pisces has been saying, you know, hey, what do you need to release and let go of so you can forge ahead, you know, to something better. And so the new moon may also bring, you know, a closure or an ending that has to take place, but is a positive one. You know, maybe you have to release something deep down that you've been holding on to, that you just need to let it go. That could very well be the energy when we're talking about Pisces, where it's not so much having to do with something or somebody else. It could be something internal that you just need to let it go. And that's always a good thing. You know, you can't hold on to stuff that's kind of just dragging around. So moving on from that, I want to talk about how Saturn is making a opposition to Juno retrograde in Virgo. And, you know, for some of you who don't know about the asteroids, I do like to talk about them when I see that they're playing a role in the astrology that has some significance, right? So Juno has been retrograding in Virgo since January, and it will continue until about the end of April. And Juno is the asteroid of commitments and our committed partnerships, primarily when you're looking at a birth chart. It tells you what you need in commitments, right? And while it's in Virgo doing a retrograde, it's taking a very detailed look at what we're committed to, right? So you want to look at where Virgo is in your chart, and that is where Juno is saying, hey, what you're committed to in this area needs to be looked at again. We need to look at the details, the things that may have been brushed under the rug, or things that may not have been seen, and really reconsider if this is what we want, right? And if this is serving the purpose that it needs to serve. And it could be, you know, if you're not in a partnership, it could be commitments to, you know, other people around you, whether it's friends, siblings, cousins, coworkers, business partnerships, you know, whatever it is for you. Juno retrograde has been having you take a look at it. Whether you recognize that or not, it's been going on, you know, kind of in the background of all the other astrology that's been happening. And not a lot of astrologers have been talking about it. I don't know why, but I digress. Saturn's making a retrograde to Juno retrograde. Saturn is making an opposition to Juno retrograde. Sorry about that. And for me, I think that's important to mention because, you know, Saturn likes to lay down the law. Saturn asks us the hard questions and makes us do the work, and is known to be the Lord of Karma, the Lord of Time. And with an opposition to Juno retrograde, I feel like this is a very serious testing point, because this energy will play out for a while. Saturn moves very slowly, so it will be within that 3-degree orb to Juno retrograde for a while. But I feel like Saturn is taking a hard look at the other side of the fence and what we're committed to, and saying, hey Juno, what have you learned during your retrograde cycle? Is it serving you? Are you committed to the wrong things, people, places, partners? What are you, you know, what are you taking with you when the retrograde is over? And are you willing to release what you realized you may need to, you know, not be so committed to, or may not be serving you anymore? Maybe whatever, you know, those commitments are that are getting a second look may have served their purpose and now need to move on from, right? And there's another look at Juno retrograde that happens on Wednesday, when the moon conjuncts Jupiter in Taurus. When that happens, the moon and Jupiter are trining Juno retrograde in Virgo. And so it's another testing point, right? It's another opportunity to take a look at what Juno retrograde has been doing in Virgo from a different perspective, right? Now it's a Jupiterian and an emotional perspective, as opposed to Saturn, which is all like reality-based, fact-checking perspective. And, you know, Jupiter conjunct the moon itself can make us very emotional. You know, it's expansive, and it could also make us very much tapped into our intuition. And Jupiter in Taurus has been questioning what we're valuing, and what we're trying to grow in our life, and where we see opportunity for progress in our life, right? And making that trine to Juno in Virgo, you know, it's very much another question of, is this bringing you expansion? Is this bringing you opportunity? Are you getting the reward that you were expecting for, you know, for the hard work you've been doing? Because we're talking about Virgo, an earth sign, who is a hardworking sign. You know, it's another look at Juno. And, you know, I think there's a reason why the universe is saying, you know, in two different ways, take a look at this. Take a look at what you're committed to, and really ask yourself, is this what you want? Is this giving you what you really want deep down inside? You know, have you looked at the details and really considered if this is giving you all that you deserve, or giving you the results that you expected? And with all the Pisces energy that we have going on, you know, it could be hard to decipher. We have a Pisces party going on right now. So it could make it a little bit harder for Juno to really know the answer to that, because the Pisces energy is in opposition to her. And so, you know, when we go into the later part of the week, on Thursday night, we see the Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces. I need to take a sip, hold on. So when the Sun conjuncts Neptune, it's really shedding a light on what our visions are, and, you know, where we need to tap into our intuition, our subconscious, our dreams, and, you know, the outer worldly things in our lives. And it's also going to make a sextile to the moon in Taurus. And I think that's further enabling us to tap into our intuition and our emotions, and what it is that we're valuing in the world around us, and in what we're creating for ourselves. And you know, I think the overall takeaway from the energy this week is a call to really tap into things that you may have ignored, or you may not have acknowledged. You know, we're talking about a lot of Pisces energy. You know, Pisces is all about what's hidden, what's, you know, what do people not see? And what do you just need to feel your way through, right? And the new moon is an opportunity for us to really acknowledge that. Acknowledge, you know, those hidden realms of life, our dreams. You know, what are you envisioning for yourself? You know, for your career, for your love life, for your home life, for, you know, your health, and, you know, your friendships. What are you trying to aspire to? You know, what do you feel deep down that you may have neglected? You know, that's all 12th house energy, you know, and it could also be, you know, subconsciously, what have you suppressed? This is an opportunity to really address it and make something new of it, right? And that's why I like this new moon, because we have a lot of support for, you know, tapping into what you want to create, especially when Aries season comes around. Now is the time to, you know, plan for that, right? Because this is like, you know, Aries is the natural ruler of the first house. So when you're talking about the new moon in Pisces in the natural ruler of the 12th house, this is all the ideas and the brainstorming, and, you know, okay, this is the spring projects that I want to do. This is, you know, the traveling that I want to do for spring break, or, you know, it's all of that, right? So it's an opportunity. And if you're starting something that's more long-term, you will see it come to fruition probably in September when we have the full moon in Pisces. So, you know, it is a positive new moon. Definitely tap into your imagination and what you're trying to create, and don't be afraid to, you know, dig deep in the depths of Pisces, You know, that's what we're all being asked to do. And enjoy it, play with it, you know, use it for your benefit. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it's helpful for you to navigate what's coming ahead for the next week. I will be making a video on the Libra full moon eclipse that's coming up very soon, right after I'm done with this video. So stay tuned for that. If you did find this video helpful, please subscribe, share, like, comment, whatever it is that you feel called to do. I hope you enjoy this week. Have a great one.